Gladys Baker, best known as the mother of Hollywood icon Marilyn Monroe, led a life marked by personal challenges and profound complexities. Born in the early 20th century, her journey was punctuated by tumultuous relationships, struggles with mental health, and the heart-wrenching challenges of motherhood in the face of adversity. Join Facts First as we present the tragic truth about Marilyn Monroe's mother, Gladys Pearl Baker. Early life. Gladys was born Gladys Pearl Monroe, May 27, 1902, in Mexico, Missouri. Her parents were Otis and Della Monroe. The family faced financial difficulties, and Gladys's early life was marked by instability. Her father, Otis, faced a series of personal challenges and tragedies that undoubtedly left an impact on the Monroe family. In the early 1900s, while Otis was still a relatively young man, he was involved in a severe accident while working on a streetcar in Los Angeles. He was either struck by a streetcar or fell from one, resulting in injuries that led to his untimely death. This accident left Della, her mother, a widow with several children to care for. Otis's sudden death had a profound impact on the Monroe family. Already grappling with financial challenges, Della had to navigate the hardships of raising her children without her husband's support. This stress and strain likely contributed to Della's own mental health issues, which mirrored the challenges her daughter Gladys would face later in life. Marriage to John Newton Baker. Gladys's first marriage was to John Newton Baker. He was considerably older than Gladys, with some sources saying an age difference of around 11 years. This was more common in the early 20th century than it might be today, but it's worth noting given the trajectory of their relationship. From the union, Gladys had two children, Robert Kermit Baker and Berniece Baker Miracle. Gladys was quite young when she started her family. When she gave birth to her first child, Robert, she was in her late teens. This was also not uncommon for the time. The marriage between Gladys and John Baker didn't last. They eventually divorced, and the circumstances that followed were particularly challenging for Gladys. Due to her mental health issues and economic hardships of the time, she found it difficult to provide a stable environment for her children. There were also tales of abuse at the hands of Newton. As a result, Robert and Berniece were taken from her and lived with relatives. Berniece, in particular, grew up largely unaware of her half-sister, Norma Jeane, Marilyn Monroe, until they connected as adults. Moved to L.A. After her marriage to John Newton Baker ended, Gladys faced significant hardships, emotionally and financially. Seeking a fresh start and possibly driven by the allure of the burgeoning film industry, Gladys relocated to Los Angeles. The city, with its growing reputation as the epicenter of the entertainment world, offered opportunities for those willing to work hard and seek them out. In LA, she managed to secure a job in the film industry, though not in the glamorous roles many aspired to. She worked as a film cutter, a meticulous job that involved editing film reels. The position was at Consolidated Film Industries, a well-known film processing company of the time. It was during this period Gladys formed a close friendship with Grace McKee. Grace would play a significant role in the life of Gladys's daughter, Marilyn Monroe. When Gladys faced further mental health challenges and was unable to care for young Norma Jeane, it was Grace who stepped in. She became Norma Jeane's legal guardian for a time and was a formative influence in her early life. Grace, having a fascination with Hollywood, is said to have been the one who first introduced Norma Jeane to the world of films and glamour, even reportedly telling the young girl she would become a movie star one day. Marriage to Martin Mortensen. After her divorce from John Newton Baker, Gladys entered into marriage with Martin Mortensen. The exact circumstances of their meeting and courtship aren't widely documented, but they were married in the early 20s. It was a short-lived marriage. They separated after a brief period, and Mortensen filed for divorce in 1928, citing desertion. Given the brevity of their union and subsequent separation, it's clear their relationship faced challenges. One of the most debated aspects of her relationship with Mortensen is the question of Marilyn Monroe's paternity. She was born in 1926. While Mortensen is listed as the father on her birth certificate, there's been much speculation and doubt about his actual paternity. After the separation and divorce, Martin largely disappeared from Gladys's and Norma Jeane's lives. He passed away in 1981. Gladys and Charles Gifford. Gladys Baker's relationship with Charles Stanley Gifford has been a topic of intrigue and speculation, primarily due to the questions surrounding Marilyn Monroe's paternity. Charles Gifford was a salesman at the consolidated film industry where Gladys worked. Their relationship, while not extensively documented, is believed to have been a romantic one. Given the timing of their association, Gifford has been frequently cited as a potential candidate for Marilyn Monroe's biological father. The question of Monroe's paternity has remained one of the enduring mysteries of her life. While Martin Edward Mortensen, Gladys's second husband, is listed as the father on Marilyn's birth certificate, there have been persistent doubts about his paternity. Several factors contribute to this uncertainty. The timing of the separation. Gladys and Mortensen had separated by the time of Norma Jeane's birth. The short-lived nature of their marriage and the timing of their separation relative to Norma Jeane's birth has led many to question Mortensen's paternity. Gifford's association. Given Gladys's known relationship with Gifford around this time, many believe he is a more likely candidate for her biological father. Marilyn's own beliefs. Marilyn Monroe herself reportedly believed Gifford to be her father. Throughout her life, she made several attempts to establish a relationship with him, though these efforts were largely unreciprocated. Physical resemblance. Some biographers and observers have noted a physical resemblance between Marilyn and Gifford, further fueling speculations. Gifford never publicly acknowledged Marilyn as his daughter, and DNA testing, which could provide a conclusive answer, was never conducted. Mental health struggles. Gladys Baker's mental health struggles played a significant role in shaping the early life of her daughter, Norma Jeane Baker. These struggles were both a reflection of personal challenges and the broader societal understanding and treatment of mental health during the era. The instability of her life, marked by 2 failed marriages and the loss of her first 2 children to the custody of others, likely exacerbated her mental health conditions. She was unable to provide a stable environment for Norma Jeane. As a result, Norma Jeane spent much of her early life in foster care and orphanages. While Gladys did make attempts to reunite with her daughter, even buying a home at one point, her mental condition made it challenging to maintain a stable living situation. She was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, a severe mental disorder characterized by delusions and hallucinations. Given the limited understanding and treatment options for mental health in the early to mid-20th century, Gladys was institutionalized for long periods. She spent many years in and out of institutions. Marilyn, despite her own rise to fame and the challenges she faced, tried to care for her mother. She provided financial support and sought better care for Gladys. But the relationship between mother and daughter was complex, marked by both affection and the painful realities of Gladys's condition. After Marilyn's tragic death in 1962, Gladys lived several more decades, passing away in 1984. Her later years were spent in relative obscurity, with her mental health remaining a persistent challenge. Now it's time to hear from you. What was most surprising about Gladys's story? Let us know in the comments section below.